Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to be showing you a gingerbread boy and girl DIY using those Dollar Tree large cutouts of the gingerbread boys. So we're going to make a boy and a girl. So we're going to start out with the piece that you get from the Dollar Tree. I have my heat gun and my little spatula, and we're going to take off his bow tie and the two buttons. We're going to leave everything else on. Now I put my spatula underneath the bow tie while I'm heating up the bow tie, and you see there it kind of chipped off a piece of it, so I'm just going to make the back of it more even and take off the rest of the part that was chipped. Now it does make it pretty thin, so you want to be careful with that if this happens to you. And these are glued on there pretty good. And we're going to reuse the bow tie and the buttons, so you want to put those aside so that we can put them back on. And then I'm just going to take my finger sander there, and I'm going to smooth everything out. Now I did get this from Amazon. I don't have a store, but I can get you a link and put it in the description box. I am an affiliate, so I do get a small percentage if you use my link to purchase this product. It does work very well, and it comes with about 100 of those little sanding pieces. And now I'm using my Ladybug vacuum, and this works very well. I really like it. And I also got it from Amazon, and I will put the link to that in the description box. And I'm just showing you the finger sander here. It's kind of put on with like Velcro type stuff. But I like both of those products. And now we're going to paint the gingerbread man with some nutmeg brown acrylic paint. So I start painting his head, and then I realize I don't have my silicone mat down. I didn't want to get any more paint on the board that I keep on my table, so I do like using those silicone mats. You get 3 in a package, and I've just been using this yellow one forever. I haven't used the other 2, which are pink and blue. So my yellow one kind of ripped. I've been using it for quite a while. But I really like it. The paint just washes right off. You can just use some water and a sponge. And I will put those also in the link. You can also get those at Amazon. So our gingerbread boy is fully painted front and back, and then we have another one that I took all the pieces off, and we're going to use the back side of it. And I've also painted the front and back of it. And now I'm just taking a piece of red cardstock. It's just 8.5 by 11, and I'm tracing around my gingerbread boy. And we're not going to cut this out right away. We're going to do something a little different with this. So I have his shape on the paper, on the cardstock, and I have cut him a little outfit out on my Cricut machine. Now, in Cricut Design Space, it had a whole gingerbread boy with the clothes on and everything. So I kind of got rid of all the other stuff, and I just wanted to cut out the clothes. Now, if you pay attention to what I'm doing there, you can see I'm putting these suspenders on wrong. And I just can't figure out what's going on with them. I'm like, this don't look right. But you'll see a little later on, I figure out what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes it takes me a while. I still don't have it figured out at this point. We're going to put his pants on, so you want to line it up with, you know, where his, in between his legs, you want to make sure that the shorts cover part of his legs, but not very much. So I'm just laying this out on his shape there on the cardstock. And the green is also cardstock. And we're not going to use the cutout buttons here. We're going to put the wooden buttons back on him. Now what I want to do with the bow tie is I want to see how it's bending there. It's really thin. So I want to glue the red cardstock onto the front of the bow tie. And I'm just using this, it's liquid Elmer's glue that I think my mom gave me years ago. And I just decided to use it. I think there were like 2 or 3 tubes in a package, and this is the last tube. It works pretty well. But you might want to use glue stick instead. I think the glue stick would probably work a little better. I just didn't feel like searching for one of my glue sticks, so I just pulled out whatever I could find in my drawer. So I set the bow tie aside, and we're going to work on gluing his outfit down. Once I figure out the right position for the suspenders. So I'm actually bringing up my Cricut design space there on my computer, and I finally figured it out. Well, you know, with help of that. So we're going to glue these down. And this is a liquid glue, but like I said, a glue stick probably would work a lot better. So I'm putting the suspenders at the top of his shoulders, the outline of his shoulders. I know you can't see that on the video, but I can see the outline. So we got one suspender down, and we're going to work on the other one. I just thought these turned out so cute. I wanted to put clothes on them, but I really didn't want to figure out how to make them myself. So I went to Cricut Design Space, and I'm like, surely they have something I can use. And they did. And on this piece here, somehow I put the glue on the wrong side. I don't know how I did it. So I'm just wiping the glue off of that side. That's what you see me doing right now. And then I flip it over and I put the glue on the correct side. I don't know why I'm having a really hard time with my crafts lately. I don't know. I keep messing up. Do you guys ever have times like that? I mean, I love crafting. It's like my thing. But I don't know. Here lately, it's just been really hard to get them to to go the way I need them to go. I don't know if I'm just not concentrating enough or what. Okay, so now I go back to the bow, and I'm just going to trim up the edges of the red cardstock around it. But we're going to take the finger sander, and it works really well to go around the edges of the bow and get the excess cardstock off. And this cardstock I've had for years. I have several sheets of the like the Christmas green and the Christmas red. I have no idea where I got it, but they're just normal, you know, like 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock. I'm sure I bought them from somewhere, but I don't know where. Maybe somebody gave them to me. I don't know. I used to do scrapbooking, so it's hard to tell. I got stuff everywhere. So like I say, I'm just taking the finger sander and going all around the edges of the bow tie. And then we're going to glue the green portions that we cut out on the Cricut to the bow tie. Now if you decide to do this, and I did have to make the clothes a little bit bigger than what was on Cricut Design Space. So what I did was I kind of measured, just took a tape measure and measured the length of my gingerbread boy, and went by that as to how big I should make the clothing. And then I did a sideways measurement also. So if your measurements aren't totally in line with the Cricut Design Space image, you can click the unlock button and do a custom size. And I think that's what I had to do. So here I am, I'm getting ready to cut this out, and then I realized, hey, you haven't glued down his pants yet. So we're just going to use that little bottle of Elmer's glue, and I'm going to glue his pants down. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. So you want to make sure that you line that up with your image that you've traced onto the red cardstock. So those are his pants, and now we're going to work on the cuffs. And at first I thought I could just cut out the clothes and glue them onto the snowman itself, gingerbread boy itself, but then I realized, you know, you're going to see the wood underneath the clothes, and then it's going to look like he's kind of naked underneath there. So that's why you have to take another piece of cardstock and draw the shape on it, and then put the clothes on it, and then cut them out. So here we're putting on the pockets. I just love making things. Always got to keep busy doing something with my hands. Making stuff. I love making stuff. Do you like making stuff? Okay, now I want to try to reposition my pocket a little bit, but this glue sticks down pretty good. But I got it to where I think it should be. But you'll see what happens when I start cutting this out. So I'm just trying to flatten it out a little bit. Some of the edges were kind of sticking up. And I know I got glue, you know, in all the places. So I just turn it upside down and rub it on my mat. And here I am. I'm just cutting around the clothes. I'm just using my regular scissors. And you want to get kind of beside the clothes. I'm going around the outline of the clothes at this point, and then right here is where I'm going around the outline of his arms, because he's going to have a red shirt on. And we don't need his head, so I didn't cut that out. And here I am cutting around the other arm. So you want to clean it up a little bit if you didn't get around it very good. Now at this point I probably should have just left the pocket where it was, but I don't know if I'm OCD or what it is, but I had to take that sucker off, okay? That glue, that was some good glue. I mean, I can't believe it. That stuff was old. I mean, probably 10, 15 years old. And that stuff stuck good. You see it's tearing the red cardstock. It's tearing the green cardstock. It was stuck. But you know what? I got it off anyway. I had to fix that thing. So I'm going to glue down the red cardstock that ripped up. And then I'm going to glue my pocket back on. And what happened was I didn't have it close enough to the edge of his body, the red, you know, the edge. So that's why I had to fix it. And, you know, it did kind of wrinkle his pocket a little bit, but I guess I was more okay with that than I was it being crooked. But I should have just left it. You know how you think you want to fix something and then it looks worse after you fix it than it did before. It's kind of what this was. So I'm taking my pencil eraser and I'm erasing those marks on there that you can see. And, you know, those are the marks where we traced around the gingerbread boy. So some of them you can see. And we just want to erase that. And here we have our gingerbread boy. So we need to figure out what to do with the sleeves of his shirt and the neck of his shirt. So we're going to start out with the neck. And I'm just going to cut in between the suspenders and go dip around a little bit. I mean, you can see it, what I did there. I don't know how to explain it. And here I am cutting off the hands and all because this is a shirt and you don't want to cover up his whole arm. We want him to have a short sleeve shirt on. So once I cut that one side, I'm just folding it over so I can tell where to cut the other side. I do want to try to keep them, you know, relatively even. So I put it on there. And I see the sleeves are still a little bit too long. They are, you know, kind of touching the white part there on each, you know, where his hands are. So I'm going to trim this down once or twice more. I want to get it right. So just little bits until I get it where I think it needs to be. But isn't that a cute outfit? Especially for Christmas. He's got his red shirt and his green suspenders and his green shorts. So cute. Okay, so there was one mark that I couldn't really get off. I think it was because it had some glue on top of it. But I still had to try and get it off again. It didn't work. I was wasting my time, but you know, I had to try. Okay, so I now think his little outfit there looks pretty good. And I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put it on the gingerbread boy. I didn't want to put it on his clothes because they're a little bit bigger than the gingerbread boy himself. So I'm just starting at the neck there, and you don't want to go too far down where his hands are because, you know, his sleeves don't go down that far. So I'm just kind of outlining where I think his clothes are. Just going to take a quick look at it there. That looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to, well, okay, I do go down a little bit more on that one leg for his shorts. And then I'm just filling in the center of it with more glue. And I'm just using Elmer's glue for this because, you know, you're working with paper. So there's no need to use hot glue, which is going to leave lines and you're going to see it. Or, you know, wood glue or anything like that. You don't need anything that strong. So just going over the edges a little bit more on his bow tie. And we're going to glue that on right at the neck of his shirt. He's so cute with his little bow tie. I remember when my grandson was wee little when they put a bow tie on him. He's so cute. So again, I'm just using my Elmer's glue. Oop, keep dropping it. Fumble fingers there. Oh, he's so cute. And we got to add his buttons back on. These are the buttons that came on him that we took off. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the round circles that were cut with his outfit, but I like the buttons. I thought it would give it a little more contrast. And now I bought this puffy paint from Walmart, and I'm going to use that for the parts, the cuffs or whatever you want to call them, on his feet and hands. Because, you know, gingerbread boys have icing on them. So this is supposed to look like icing. Although I'm not really very good with the puffy paint. I hadn't used it in years. Probably since my kids were in school. And, you know, they're older now, way older. In their 30s and 40s. So I'm just going to do each one of these. Just putting the puffy paint on it, filling it all up. Trying to make it look nice. Look like icing. And I just bought this puffy paint at Walmart last week. It was $1.12 for this little bottle. They had bigger bottles and all, but I didn't figure I'd be using much, so I didn't want to get a big bottle. And there we go. We got all 4 of them done. Now he needs a face. And I thought, you know, I could just take this and use it to draw it on there. I mean, if you want to, you can take a pencil and pre-draw the features of the face on there. I just kind of free-handed them with the puffy paint. And I should have stopped right there, but I'm like, I need to fix the eyes. And really, I think I made them look worse than they did. But he still turned out cute. Here I am trying to make this other eye a little bit bigger to match the other one. Should have just stopped. But there he is. Now it does take a while for this puff paint to dry. Now we're going to work on the girl, the gingerbread girl. So I made her a dress, just like we did for the gingerbread boy. I made this for the gingerbread girl. Now I had to do the back side for her because when I pulled the bow off, it left all this glue and you could see it through the paint. So I'm going to use the back side, and I painted both sides of the gingerbread girl and the boy. So on this one here, I'm putting the glue on the dress, but I probably should have put it on the Gingerbread Girl because I do have some on edges that didn't need glue. And I'm just taking the shoulders of the dress and kind of lining them up with her shoulders, making them a little bit higher. Mostly taking the neck of the dress and putting it right under her head there. Now we have the bow that I've already fixed up, and her clothes have green underneath, so just reversed of what the Gingerbread Boy's clothes are. So his was red with green on top, and hers is green with red on top. And now you can see some red paper on the back of the bow. I was going to put the pieces of the bow on just to the wood and realized that didn't look as good as it would if I put the green down first and then put the red on. So that's why there was red paper on the back. That's where I pulled it off. And now I'm just reattaching the cuffs on her arms and legs. And I had actually made her bow and her clothes before I made the Gingerbread Boy's clothes. So that's why you saw me put the paper correctly on his bow tie. We're going to put her buttons back on, put them on her dress there. Fumble fingers again, had to drop the button. Now I'm back to the puffy paint. We're going to do the cuffs like we did for the Gingerbread Boy. Again, I'm not that great at using it. It's been a long time since I used it, but I'm trying to do my best. And when I first started putting it on, her cuff had slipped because the glue wasn't totally dry yet. So that's why I'm kind of holding it down with my finger. And actually, when it's all said and done, I mean, that puffy paint really does kind of look like icing. Icing on a cookie. So I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to watch it. It's just the same thing that we did with the Gingerbread Boy. Don't you wish you could paint this fast? Me too. Yeah, it doesn't happen. Of course, I had to touch that one and had to fix it. There we go. We got the cuffs done. Now we're going to have to work on her face. Give her a face. See, I touched it again. I just keep touching it. I kept telling myself not to do it, but I still did it. I don't listen. Like my kids, they don't listen. So we're giving her some eyes. I'm going to give her a different smile. Her mouth is going to be a smile. I'm going to give her a smile. The boy wasn't quite a smile. He wasn't too happy to be there. She's happy. So there she is, a gingerbread girl. Now we're going to put the hangers back on. So I just twisted the end of the jute and stuck it through the hole. I'm just going to tie a knot on the end, and this was the same jute hanger that came with these from the Dollar Tree. And then I'll trim up the ends. We'll do that to our gingerbread girl too. What do you think I should name them? They should have some names. And I don't have a clue. It don't seem right just to call them gingerbread girl and boy. And here I go. I messed this one up again. Had to put some more puffy paint on it. Like I said, it stays, it takes it a while to dry. So if you have any suggestions for names for the gingerbread boy and girl, let me know. Should they be Jack and Jill? I don't know. You tell me. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think the gingerbread boy and the gingerbread girl's names should be. They could be brother and sister. They could be boyfriend and girlfriend. They could just be friends. So think of some names and put them in the comments. So they're all ready now. Got their hangers on. They're clothed. They're ready to hang out and dry. I'm just pressing her dress down. It's kind of poking up a little bit. But there she is. And there he is. Aren't they cute in their little green and red clothes? They so cute. And here they are hanging on my wall. So again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you be part of the family. And I read all the comments and take note of what each and every one of you say. Please feel free to share my videos to people that you think might like doing these DIYs. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.